Good evening, everyone. Here we go. We are on Nun Tet Amud Aleph, 59a. We are 6 lines up from the bottom. And Bezrat Hashem, hopefully finishing the parak today, God willing. All right, so we're still in the technical battle with the onions. So let's get into it.
Hey, it smells good, the store.
Yeah, but there's what we could derive from it, and we'll point those out. Bezrat Hashem. All right, here we go. Gufa, a new point. Oh, there we go. Hi, Odin.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
My phone was on silent.
So, just about to start. Recording's already been on. Nun Tet Amud Aleph 59a. 6 lines up from the bottom. Continue to talk about onions. Odet's favorite. And here we go.
You know, I thought we'd get into some garlic maybe today.
We mentioned garlic a couple of days ago, and right here actually, we spoke about shum, right?
At the end of the Masachet, there's a recipe.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Gufa, Amar Rav Yochanan. Says Rav Yochanan, Litra Betzalim, a liter of Betzalim, an amount of Betzalim, Shetikna. So Shetikna means it was fixed. What it means that it was fixed is that you already took off the maaser. So you have, imagine you grew 100 Betzalim, 100 onions. You took off the maaser, you took off 2% teruma to the Kohen, you have 98 left, took off 9.8 for the Levi, for maaser. And now, with the leftover, vizara, you now replant the leftover. So you replant the leftover. Says the Gemara, mitaseret lefi kula. You have to, when now you have a new amount that's grown, you have to take off maaser off of the whole thing. Kind of like a double tax. We spoke about this briefly at the end of the shiur. So it's already been fixed. You've already taken off the maaser. So now let's say I planted, for lack of better, whatever, you have 100, take off 2 for teruma, you have 98 left, 10% of that 9.8, let's say that's 9. So 98 minus 9 is 89. I have 89 left, and is that right?
88.
Right.
You know, you take 2% first.
So it's 98.
Or,
Yeah,
you get to
2%.
98.
98 minus 9.
90, not 98.
89.
Minus 10% is 9.8.
Yeah.
So you're at 88.2.
And 9.2.
8.1, but 88.
What? No, you said you take 2% off.
Yeah.
Then you take 10%.
Oh, 9.8, so let's say 10. Let's just round it up to 10. Okay, so
you're
88.
90
88.
Well, okay, I said 88.2.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. You're right. You're right.
What an onion look like?
All right. Point to onion. Depends on the size.
Depends
Okay.
where you start peeling it from.
Yeah. So these 88 onions you plant, and now let's say you get 500 onions. You still have to give maaser on the whole 500, not 500 minus 88. Okay. So let's take a quick look at the Ran, left side,
So you planted the 88,
that you already took your 10% off.
and you gave the 10%.
So now I have 88 left. I put it in the ground.
I reinvested it all.
Reinvested, boom, now 500. 500, take off 10% for maaser.
Or you can consume the 88.
Or
Before you
if
replant
you've
it.
consumed the
Before you
88,
replant
you
it.
don't have to give anything.
No, because you just paid off that 88. But now
Yeah.
this is if you're
Right.
reinvesting it and
Right.
you're making new profits. You have to pay
But-
out the full profits.
On
obviously.
the full amount.
Okay, just if I could just ask one
Now
question.
with money, it
Even
doesn't
the
work like
liberals
that.
don't tax you on
I know,
your-
I know, I
on
know.
your- on your investment.
Okay.
In money, halacha, it doesn't go like that. This is the opinion right now of Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah.
Specific to onion.
What?
Don't
It's just for onions.
specific
No,
to
no,
onion.
no,
Oh, it's
no.
not applicable to money?
No, it's not applicable.
Like if you have an investment, it doesn't work the same way.
No, if I already took off the maaser,
So I invested $10.
yeah,
I made 100.
yeah. So you really made 90.
Tell me where did you invest it? That's a good investment.
Tell me where you invest.
Okay, sorry. I made 100. Sorry, I invested 10. It got to 100. I pay master. I don't pay master on the 100.
You pay maaser on the 90.
Yeah.
Okay. I take that money, that's mine, because I paid on that. If not, if I reinvest it, and now
You had
that,
1,000?
that
You have
90 becomes
91,
1,000.
91.
I pay Monster on 1,000
1,000 minus the 90.
1.
with money, but not with onions.
Well,
Okay, sorry.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
it-
yeah.
yeah.
With money,
With
right?
money, it's a
Well,
different
wait,
volume.
is that applicable to onions only?
No.
Or any
Vegetable,
any
anything, yeah.
vegetables, anything
Corn-
you put into the ground.
Exactly. According to Rabbi
Because
Yochanan.
But that could make sense too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because
Because
that's why
it's
that's
in
why I
the ground
said
and
you're putting
Hashem
it
is
into the
involved
ground.
in it.
Well, let's see. Yeah, so that's the. So the Ran says v'lo lefi gidulan bilvad de'atu gidulim vat leikar legamre. This whole, while we're talking about onions the whole time, as we know, we've been talking about when it regrows in the ground, it also regrows to 500 onions, but the same one actually grows more also. So we say it keeps on. And then we also talked about that the onion is different than a seed, where a seed totally decomposes, and then from that decomposed seed comes whatever.
Bless you.
The onion stays intact, but just keeps on growing and growing and growing, and could spread to other onions and make other onions. But the onion itself keeps on growing more layers to it. So what we're saying over here is that the gidulim are mevatel the ikar legamre. What's grown, the additional growth, nullifies what was there. Meaning, this onion was so small, it grew. The growth is bigger than it was before, majority. It makes it now like it's all new, and therefore it's 500 now. It's 500 all new. The 88 has been consumed and swallowed up by what's been grown, the extra growth over it.
Okay.
So it's like it's all new thing. Okay. That is the explanation of Rabbi Yochanan. Now, Yativ Rabbah. Rabbah asks a question on this. The Ka'amar lehashmata, and he said, Yativ Rabbah. Yativ Rabbah was sitting. The Ka'amar lehashmata, and he said this statement of Rabbi Yochanan. Amar le Rav Chizda. Rav Chizda told him, Man tzait lach b'la Rabbi Yochanan Rabbah. Who will listen to you and Rabbi Yochanan, your rabbi? Who will listen to you that you don't have to give that you have to give maaser on the full 500? Like you have 88 that's already clean. Why do you have to pay again? Who will listen to you with that? Heter shebahen lehechan halach. The part that's allowed, where did it go? Where did the 88 go? It's already been allowed for you to use for your own use. You got 100, and now you took off maaser on it. You total 88.2. That 88.2 is kosher money, is kosher onions. You could eat it, you could do whatever you want with it. You reinvest it, and you get 500. You're telling me I have to give 50, you have to give 10% on the 500? But where did the 88 go? Like, that's in the question that back, where the statement originally was you have to give on the full 500, and we explained because it overgrew, and that's the majority now. But when Rav Chizda heard this, he's like, "What? This was allowed already. Where did the allowed amount, 88 in our case, where did that go?" That's his question, and the question stemming from, I understand gidulim, meaning when this onion is a certain size and it grows more, and this growth is bigger than this, it kind of overpowers it. But now when it's like, okay, now I got to pay taxes on my 500. So why can't I include the 88 that I already? Why can't I exclude the 88 that I already pay taxes on? Why is that not in this cheshbon? The actual one itself, okay, this is grew more. This overcame it. Where did the heter go? Where did the leniency go? Where did these 88? Where did it go? That's the question back.
Is the word because it grew? So, in order for it to grow, it has to take. So your 88 don't just turn into 500. Your 88 plus water plus soil plus sun, which are gods. Take that 88 to make it 500. So then it's not really yours. It's yours plus, and so that's why you have to pay on the 500.
So
is the word grow the key component? Or no? Is it something that grows and evolves?
So that is the key component when it comes to, in general, which we've been talking about, where the growth is mevatel, the original amount overrides it, and now is this a onion that I need to take maaser on or not? Well, what's the growth? What's the majority? Majority is new stuff, so yeah, you got to give maaser on this whole thing. But when it comes to now I have 500. Now I gotta so like in money value, you've given the money already. You've cleaned yourself. This 88 is clean. Why now do I have to still have to start again? That's the word. Heter shebahen le'echad halach. I'm trying to find a good word for heter.
Heter is
The allowed part called the 88. Where did it go? That's what Rav Chizda is countering back.
Could it be that when it comes to fruits and vegetables, because it goes into the ground, whatever, and you can't differentiate
Which exact one it is.
exactly.
Okay.
But the 88 money, you can say money is money. It's easy to identify $88.
Okay, so I have a question though in that case. So what if I take the 88,
88 what?
the 88 onions, I've paid
Yeah.
mustard on them with I took 100 onions, I'm left with 88.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
you did two in
So
the
I take
total.
the 88, I sell them, and now I have cash. I buy seeds and plant them. Is that different? Does that change
That's
the
for sure
equation?
different. Yeah, that's
Right.
for sure. Everyone would agree. You need to pay
So
the
once
full
you-
10% on the 500.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
pay,
I'm saying I
you sell the
liquidated-
88.
Is the
you
point
get,
because I took
you get $100,
Okay.
and you take the $100, the whole $100, you buy seeds, and the seeds gives you 500 onions,
or 1,000 onions.
and you sell them,
That you still have to
and
give.
you sell them, you get the $500. You started off with $100, so you take your $100, so you
No,
only
you
have to pay
don't.
tax on
No.
400.
No.
So because like this, you need
That's
to
what
give
you're trying to say.
No,
maaser
what I'm
on
asking,
food.
what I'm saying is that if of the 88, if I sell them,
What did you guys say?
like am I bad? Like
We're
am I,
getting into taxes. Like taxes are not applicable.
Yeah. No, but we're looking at the
no,
money
but
part.
Maser is sorry, I think we're talking about Maser as taxes.
Yeah, so I
As
convert
money-
it to dollars
Maser as
and
money-
money
taxes,
dollars.
taxes.
You know, because you give 10% of your profit. You give 10% of your profit.
Okay, we're ruining
The
their
profit
shit.
is the profit is the 100 to the 400 is 400.
What's that? When it comes to food, any food that comes from the ground, you need to give 10% of. In
From the
Eretz
gross.
Yisrael, from
the
the
gross.
growth. Yes, from the growth of the food.
From the gross
Whatever. And the gross full amount.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But
not the
any
extra.
any food that comes up from the ground in Eretz Yisrael is holy. I need to give maaser, teruman maaser off of it. So now meaning if I have cash, if I turn a thing into cash, I buy seeds and I put it in. Those seeds are brand new. This is a new start. Even though I started with cash, I have to give 10% of what's grown. But now that if I put an 88 into the ground and 500 came out, we could say maybe where did the heter go? That's his question. Yes,
Why am I paying
I don't
money?
know
Well,
which
just
exactly
say
one
it.
is the 80.
Yeah, but
Money
when
is
you say
different.
If it comes out of the ground, it's always from the gross.
Yeah, but I put in the ground. I put
that makes sense.
Doesn't
onion
matter.
in there.
You also
sense.
put
The only
$100 in the ground by the seeds.
But what's
It's the
the
same
only
concept.
reason you would put the 88 back in is because you want to get more. If you're happy with your 88 that you already pay taxes on, then you'd be fine. But now you're putting it in to get more, which would make sense. Now I'm looking for more. God gives you the bounty. From that bounty, then you should pay on the full bounty because you.
But that's what he's asking. The
You're looking
88,
for
where
more.
did it go?
Okay,
Where did those
Also,
go?
it's the natural way to get new crops. Like you have to put the
In
seed,
that, you
like
put
the
the
fruit.
seeds.
Like
But
if you don't
seeds are
put
different than the
Oh,
onion. because
oh,
the
actually-
onion is
No, I understand,
is
but like-
the point is that it's
to grow up
actually-
onion,
It
you
is
have-
the seed. It's the bulb.
but it's not very different also because to get new onions you have to seed.
Yes,
Like you have
yes,
to
yes.
plant onions.
You're hitting a good
Without
point.
it, you cannot make it.
You're hitting a good point, and we're going to talk about it in the next
You
page
cannot expect the soil to give you onion without anything.
without any
No,
planting.
for sure not.
So like you have to plant the onions to get new onions. The
Right.
onion doesn't have seeds.
I wonder if it's different because onions are not seeds; they're bulbs. Does that
No,
make
but
a
it's the
we
same
difference?
did.
thing.
We did make
It
a
doesn't
big
matter
difference about that.
Okay.
As Rabbi said, it doesn't matter if it's onions or carrots.
No, but
or-
we did make a big difference of
No,
if
but
it's,
those
if
are
it's a
root
seed that
vegetables. They
exactly.
propagate themselves.
But
Versus
what-
seeds
no,
are
what Nissim
different.
is
An apple
saying-
tree doesn't re-propagate itself.
What Nisim is saying is we're going to talk about it because you're right.
about pineapple?
Every time I put in the ground, every time I seed the ground,
No, pineapple
I'm
seeds,
using
you gotta use
seeds.
the pineapples.
I'm using seeds that already I took maaser off of. So how is that going to work? We're gonna see. Okay.
Also, you can use the onion and just
Amar le,
Plant the-
2 lines up from the bottom. Amar le, he tells him back. So again, he said to him, where did the heter go? Where did the 88 go? Amar le, milo tenante kavata. Didn't we learn a Mishnah that would support what I'm saying? This is Rabbi Yochanan. Betzalim sheyardu aleim geshamim. Onions that it got rained on. And this case was again a case of the onion was in the 6th year, and then it goes into the Shemitah year. It already started as a 6th year onion, kept on raining, kept on going in the ground, staying in the ground the whole time, and now it's the 7th year, Shemitah. 6th year, you're allowed to eat this onion. 7th year, oh, that's it. So now, B'tzalim she'yirdu alem geshamim v'tzimchu, and they grew more. They grew more.
Interesting.
We're learning about
No,
onions.
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Let's go.
No,
So
because
now-
I just asked my wife for fish and she wanted chicken. So
So you eat chicken.
But you didn't bring any for us tonight. Okay.
no, well, not tonight. It's for later this week.
Okay, so he says to Mamar Milo Tanat de Kavata. Didn't we learn a Mishnah that's going to support what I'm saying, that this is where the growth overrides, and it's as if it fully overrides. And what's that case? Betzalim she'yedulam geshamim, onions that got rained on. And this is an onion that went from year 6 to year 7. Betzimchu, and it grew more. Ima yu alin shelaim shechorin asurin. If the leaves were black or darker, then it's asur. What does it mean, it's asur? We explained
The leaves of
the leaves of the new onion, that the growth of the onion is dark. We said now this onion is asur. Why is it asur? And horiku, if it's more greener, mutarin, it's allowed. So what's going on? Dark and green. So we explained that if now I pull out this onion in year 7, that's what's going on, right? It starts in year 6, and it goes into year 7, right? Year 7 is Shemitah year, can't benefit from it. But I see it's dark. The dark means it likely got most of its nutrients from the ground, and therefore it's in the ground year 7. This is a ground onion. That's a year 7 onion. Asur. But if I pull out the onion in year 7 and it's greener on the greener side, we say it came from the bulb. The nutrients didn't come so much from the ground. Everything was attached to the ground, but where's the majority of it from? And we say it came from the bulb itself. The bulb started in year 6, so it's allowed. So that's the difference in year 6 and year 7.
In year 8 is.
Year 8, everything's allowed. Year 8,
And,
everything's
and they're allowed to I thought on year 7 it would just be, you just don't touch it. You're not allowed to
So-
check it.
Yeah, so just on that for a second. Year 7, a person's fields are open, and anyone could go eat it, including the owner could go and eat the stuff. Meaning, I didn't plant it. I planted it in year 6. It just grew on its own. Everything was on its own. I leave my door open. Everyone would go eat it. So why is it asur? So we explained that let's say I took onions into my house, and then I'm allowed to do that provided there's enough in the field, even for animals. Like for sure for humans, like after humans, then there's even still for animals. But if there's no more in the field, I have to get rid of the ones that are in my house. At that point, it's asur for me to eat the ones in the house. So now I have this onion in my house. I'm like, oh, am I really asur to eat this? I have to go bring the onions back out. And someone's like, oh, I learned this Gemara about onions. Is it green or is it dark? I'm like, what does that make a difference? Well, if it's dark, it's really a 7th year one. If it's light, then really it got the nutrients from the bulb itself, which the bulb started in the 6th year. It's a 6th year one. So you don't have to put it back out. You could eat it. That's what's going on over here. So, but in both cases, there's more growth happening to this onion. Ima yu'alin shalem shechorin asurin horiku mutarin. V'chi, so now the Gemara asks, v'chi shechorin amay asurin. Why is the black ones, why is it asur? Lema say, heter shebayin lechan alach. Why don't you say the same thing? Where did the allowed part go? Meaning this was a 6-year onion, went to the 7th year, is black on the outside, but it started in the 6th year. There's an allowed piece over here. That's a 6th year onion that grew more. So you say, oh, the whole onion, you cannot eat now because it's a blackened one. Where did the lenient part go? Where did the allowed part go? We see from here, we don't care about the allowed part. It grew more, that's it. This is a 7th year onion.
as soon as
So
it's
therefore,
black, that's it. It's the whole thing.
it's the whole thing. It's year 7 one, right? Don't buy black onions now anymore. It's always the dark ones, light ones. No, it's not that. It's 7th year ones. So now, what's happening is he uses this, or Yochanan uses it as his proof to say, you see, we don't care where's the lenient? Where's the 88? Sorry, if the overgrown, the 500 overgrew, that's what we look at. So it's over here. This is our proof that we look at the overgrowth and we don't look at where did the lenient part go.
And halacha goes according to Yochanan?
So we're going to see with regards to the Maaser. We're in the middle of the back and forth. Amar le, he tells him back, Mi savart al ikar ktani, atosefet ktani asurin. He answers him back in an answer that we didn't see until now, which is, he says, hold on a second. When I said that blackened onion is asur, was I talking about everything? I wasn't talking about everything. I was talking about the extra growth. Exactly, the black part, the new growth part. That means the bulb, if you could somehow determine the size of how much it was at the end of the 6th year, that part's going to be allowed. The extra, that part's going to be asur. So therefore he says that your proof is not a proof. Because Rav Yochanan tried bringing this proof to say, you see, the overgrowth totally outdoes the 6th year kosher part, and therefore this thing is totally asur. He says, no, I never said that. I just said the overgrowth part is asur, not that. So it's he's keeping it as two separate things. That means the 88 should still be allowed. I should still not have to give maaser on that. Read that again, third line. Mi savarta, did you think? Al ikar ktani. I'm talking about like the everything, the ikar. Atosevek ktani asurin. On the additional part. That's what I said is asur. The Gemara asks on that. Hold on a second. Says the Gemara. If so, my ata Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel lememar. If so, what is Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel coming to teach us? What's Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel? The Tanya. There's a bright Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, Hagadal b'chiyuv chayav, hagodel patur. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel teaches us a statement. Whatever's written, whatever grows in the chayav is chayav, whatever grows in the patur is patur. What does that mean? It means we look at things separately. Whatever's grown, we look at things separately. Let's say this onion in the 7th year. Whatever's grown in the 7th year is asur. Whatever was grown in the 6th year is allowed. So we look at everything separately. So the Gemara is asking a question like this. You just explained that the case of the onion going from the 6th year to the 7th year, where it says if it's dark, it's asur, it's not fully asur. You explained that only the extra growth is asur. But hang on a second. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel was the one who said that. So if that's the explanation of the Mishnah, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, what did he come to add? Meaning, if you explain the Mishnah to say, everything, when I see a black onion, everything's asur. Says Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, no. Whatever's new is asur, whatever's old is not asur. If it's black on the outside, and then right? So whatever's new, the black stuff is asur. Whatever's old is allowed. So I could see there's a contrast here. There's a machloket. You hold the whole thing's asur. Says Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, no. Whatever's asur is asur. Whatever's allowed is allowed. Then says the Gemara, no. You know what that meant? The blackened onions. It meant only the asur, but only the growth is asur. The stuff that came in the 6th year is allowed. Says Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, the growth is asur, and what's allowed is allowed. What's the difference? They're saying the same thing. What's Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel coming to add if that's the same thing?
Well, what about you said in the 8th year, it's all good.
Yeah, we didn't get to the 8th year yet, but yeah, 8th year is all good.
Even if it's black.
8th year works the opposite way, meaning if it's black, then it's black from the 8th year. So this is an 8th year onion. If it's green, it's a green from the 7th year because we're going 7th to 8th.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So-
Confused us with the 8th year. We don't need to talk about the 8th year right now.
The 8th year, it's already.
But it's the opposite. We spoke about it before.
I'm quiet, Rabbi. I'm quiet.
Okay.
What?
Listening.
You confused us. Confused them. Okay.
No, I don't know. Is there an inside joke that I missed here?
No. We're not talking about 8th year. Okay. We're not talking about the 8th year right now. All right.
Okay.
6 to 7. No. I know. I thought about it also. Forget it. Okay. It's not with the 8th year actually. Fine. Now, so the question is, what is Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel coming to add? And that's what the Gemara says. Iachi, my 4 lines down. If so, my ata Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Lememar, what is Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel coming to add? To Tanya, because he says a brighter. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, Haggadah b'chiyuv chayav, Haggadah b'patur patur. Whatever's grown in the chiyuv is chayav, which is the 7th year. Whereas godel and patur is patur. It's grown in the 6th year is 6th year. It's allowed. What did he come to add? Tanakama nami hachi amar. And that's the question here. The Tanakama, the first Tana, which is the blackened onions versus the greener onions, he already said the same thing according to you. According to you, you're translating this to say that, oh, what I meant is asur is only the outside part, the growth, not the original that started the 6th year. Rabbi Shimon says the same thing. The Tanakama is saying like Rabbi Shimon, but usually there's two opinions, but the two opinions are saying the same thing. Answers the Gemara. Kula matnitin Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. A very easy answer. No, everything's Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. There's no two opinions over here. It's all Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. So if it's all Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, then it makes sense. Meaning when it's the saying, it's all Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. It's not two opinions. If you have two opinions, you need two different opinions. But now we just no, it's all the same person. It's all the same person talking over here. So we answered with that. Okay, so now where are we up to? So we originally started with Rabbi Yochanan's explanation that you have to give maaser on the whole thing. Rabbi Chizda says, what? Where did the leniency part go? Where did the 88 go? Again, Rabbi Yochanan says it's where the growth consumes. Rabbi Chizda says, where did the heter go? Where did the 88 go? Then we said, what do you mean? We have this case of the blackened onions that you see that it totally overrides. And basically tried asking a question on the Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, and that's been thrown out. So our question on Rabbi Chizda still stands. I mean, we have a good proof for Rabbi Yochanan to say that the growth overrides. But Rabban Shimon Gamliel, then Rabban Shimon Gamliel says that no, in that case, it's not talking about growth overriding. It's talking about what's asur is asur, what's allowed is allowed. So if that's the case, what's asur is asur, what's allowed is allowed, then the question of Rabbi Chizda comes back. The question of Rabbi Chizda is, where did the allowed part go? Right? Let's just going over the steps. Rabbi Yochanan starts by saying everything is asur in the new growth. Chizda says, where did the allowed part go? The allowed part? What do you mean? Black batzal overrides. You see, we don't care about the allowed part. And then he says, no, Rabbi Shimon does care about the allowed part. So the question remains, where did the allowed part go? Chizda's question is still intact on Rabbi Yochanan. Where did the allowed part go?
It didn't go anywhere. It's still part of the same onion.
Yeah, it's still part of them, but how do we consider it? How do we consider it? Do we consider it two separate pieces? Allowed, not allowed? Or do we say, no, the growth overgrew it, and now it's all not allowed. It's all black.
But if the overgrowth was green, it didn't say that before?
Yeah, then that's allowed.
Then
yeah,
that's fine.
Then that's fine.
So
we're saying that we're talking in the black. In the black, we don't. But how do we translate the black Rabban Shimon Gamliel? We're still looking at the black part's asur, but the green part or the bulb or whatever is in the 6th year is allowed. So if that's the context that we're splitting the two, then it's a question on the original statement of Rabbi Yochanan that says, you have to give full maaser. Where did the allowed part go? And I'll show you Rabbi Shimon Gamliel's explanation is that you have the black and you have the non-black part. That is, it's two separate things, and you're saying it totally overrides.
quick question.
Yeah.
So you start with the 88, you get the 500. Of the 500, let's say the black part that you're not, that thing is going to be removed. Let's say is 50. The equivalent of 50 onions. Do you give the 10% on the 500 or on the 450?
I didn't follow you there.
That's what we are trying to figure out.
Yeah, but the black onion is not necessarily like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, no, it's parts of it. It's the outside. But let's say that only the outside part, the black part, is no good. So you cut that black part out, and you're left with the equivalent of 450.
Okay.
Do you give 10% on the 500? In this case, that way you'd be left with 400 net. Or do you give 10% on the 450? In which case
I think you're mixing up.
405.
I think you're mixing up the two cases.
Oh, that's possible.
The 500 and the.
Sorry, I think that would be 450 now.
He makes up the two cases because the 500 case is the case of Maaser, and this case is the case of Shemitah, going into Shemitah. But we just want to show that he makes up the two cases.
Yes, but I'm not mixing. I'm extrapolating. I'm adding.
You're adding to it. Okay, no adding yet.
No adding, okay.
This is back and forth.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
So the question on Rabbi Yochanan still exists. Why did you say that mitaseret al kula, the entire thing is maaser? Where did the lenient part go? Okay. Okay. Ve'ad kan, says the Gemara. Ve'ad kan lo shmad le Rabban Shimon Gamliel de lo katarach, אבל hecha de katarach batil beruba. Rabban Shimon Gamliel adds to his statement of what's Rabban Shimon Gamliel, again, his statement was, when I have the black part, only part's asur. In year 7, I take out this onion, I got the black part and I got the inner bulb. He says only the black part's asur. The inner bulb is allowed. It's from year 6. Says Rabban Shimon Gamliel, that's only the lo katarach. That's only if you didn't even think about this onion, it just went from the 6th year to the 7th year. You didn't think about, I want it to override or not override. Then it's not going to override, and it's going to be two separate things. But if you wanted to mivatel it, and this is now when we go to the 8th year, where let's say a guy has onions, it's in year 7, and he knows that it belongs to Shemitah, he can't use it anymore, it's the end of the 7th year, he needs to leave it out for the people to take, but soon it's going to roll into the 8th year. So he's like, you know what, my intention is I'm going to leave it in the ground, so it grows in the 8th year more, and those extra growth is going to override the 7th year stuff, and I'm going to be able to use it. Says Rabban Shimon Gamliel, if that's your intention, then it's going to work. So he goes in this part. He now deviates from his what's that year, this year. He says, if your intention is to make it override, then it will work. If your intention is that it's not going to override, you just let it roll into the 8th year without even thinking about it. Then I separate the two pieces. Like, what do you mean? It's the same onion, just, it has to do with kavanah. What's your kavanah? If your kavanah is that I want to let it roll into the 8th year so that it overrides and that that my intention is for it to override, then it will work. And if not, no. Now let's read that again. The ad kan, until now, lo shamat le Rabban Shimon Gamliel, the lo katarach. Talking about that you did not work on it. You mean you did not have intention for it to override. Aval hecha the katarach batil beruba. When you did have that work, you did have that intention, then it's batil berov. It goes with the majority. If the majority is 8th year, it's going to override it. Okay. What's the second here?
That kind of makes sense though, because if you're taking a risk by leaving it there, it could rot, right? But because you're like covenant that it's gonna turn into something bigger,
Okay.
you get rewarded for that.
Okay.
Yeah, what about the black part that was already there? The part goes even more.
Finally goes back.
The block is dead.
Okay,
Okay, when you have a bad onion in your bag, it spreads into the other good onions become bad. That's why you gotta take them out and throw them out. You ask your wife. Same thing with
Well, it's
potatoes.
like anything.
But it's not
Yeah,
gonna go.
rotten,
But the
rotten,
onions
rotten spread.
will not go back.
But the
in
brown is
soil.
not rotten.
Can I take a look at this?
They're not saying. I don't think the brown here is rotten. The brown here is just it didn't take from the source of the bulb. It took from the earth of the ground.
Which is not proper onion. I think it is rotten. That's how I understood it.
No, it's not right.
It's not rotten. It's not rotten. It's just
No,
where
nothing is
did
rotten
it
here.
get its life source from? Did it get its life source from the bulb? Or that's what I asked in the beginning. Is it?
I don't
Because
know.
it's a bulb vegetable that's different because the bulb ones are generative, right? They actually never die. What dies off of them is
Did not
the
expend
excess,
effort.
like the flower, if you want to call it that. but the actual bulb itself never dies. Like look at tulips, right? Like it's the same bulb. It never dies. It stays intact. It produces a flower. The flower grows. It's beautiful.
Also,
You cut the flower. That's what'd be interesting to me. Like if you cut all these flowers, you have a bulb of. What are you paying on? Are you paying on the bulbs, the original bulbs you pay on, or do you pay on the tulips that I reap the benefits of for the next 100 years? I have 1,000 tulips in my backyard.
Let's keep on growing.
They just keep every year they keep on growing. You can cut the 1,000 tulips, sell them. What do you pay muster on? And then how about the bulbs that are in there? Like do I have to pay on those, or what if I pay on the bulbs to begin with? And then the rest is just like profit all the time. I don't know. That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, but like the thing is, if you don't put the initial bulbs in the soil, you'll never get any product, right?
Well, obviously.
So
Sorry.
you cannot exclude the 88, the original 88 from your master because they are needed. Because that's the original question, right? The initial question is why not we're not taking the 88 out of 500.
Okay, let's get back to it here. We got a little bit more work to do. Okay, so
No, I understand. Sorry, I'm thinking.
So Rabban Shimon Gamliel, ועד כאן לא שמע לרבן שמעון גמליאל דלא כתרח, אבל היכא דכתרח באתי ברובה. So now there's a difference between having in mind for it to be batel versus not having in mind to be batel. And if you have in mind to be batel, it's going to be batel fully. And if not, then that's where he has his rule of kind of separating what's asur is asur, what's not asur is not asur. Now the Gemara is asking him that. Hold on a second. If you worked on it, then it's gonna work. Then it's gonna be batel berov with a majority. Vare litra maaser tevel the katarach viktani veota litra maaser alav mimakom acher lefi cheshbon. So we learned this piece maybe last time or 2 shiurim ago, where you have, let's say, a liter of maaser tevel. So maaser tevel, we explained, is tevel is the word for when you just reaped your okay, let's talk about wheat now. Your 100 pounds of wheat. So this 100 pounds of wheat is at 100 right now, and you need to take off teruma, you need to take off maaser, and before you take off anything, it's called tevel. You take off 2%, that's teruma. You take off 10% after that, that's maaser. The maaser goes to the hand of the Levi. That 10% that he received, the 9.8 that he received, the Levi has to take off teruma to give to Kohen also, 2% from that. Now, if he until he does, that maaser that he has is called maaser tevel. It's maaser, but it's also tevel, meaning it's undone, it's still not finished. He has to give the 2% to the Kohen, then he could benefit from that.
He can have benefit before that?
No, he can't benefit before that. So once he gets his 10% from Israel, he has to give 2% of that to the Kohen. Until that point is maaser tevel. But what happens over here? The Levi gets the maaser tevel. The katarach, now he replants it. He doesn't give the 2% yet. He just replants it. Viktani ve'otar litra maaser alav mimakom acher lefi cheshbon. And we said that what do you have to do? That liter of maaser, liter maaser tevel. So what happened was this guy had a liter of maaser tevel, an amount, a pound of maaser tevel. He was supposed to give 2% to the Kohen. He planted it in the ground. So, ve'otar liter maaser alav mimakom acher lefi cheshbon. He has to take off maaser on that he already did maaser on. Lefi cheshbon. He has to take off maaser on this piece that he already took maaser on.
Because he's not allowed to plant what's not his.
Yep. That's what I think.
That's not his. Okay, so I gave 2. In total, I'm supposed to give 2 plus 10% of what I'm left without 2. Right? So I have
No,
to
not
give,
10%. He got 10% from the Israel. He has to give 2% of that to the Kohen. He didn't do it yet.
2% of what he received, or 2%?
Of what he received. Of what he
So he
received.
keeps 98% of the
What he
of
received.
the 9.2,
Yeah.
9.8.
Yeah. Now but that's fully his, excluding that 2%. But he didn't give the 2% yet, and he puts everything in the ground. So now when it grows, you have to give
Did he put
Maaser.
the- did
You
he
have to give
put it in the
10% on
ground
everything.
As an agent or as a principal?
I don't know what you mean by that. He plants it. Can I see that?
But he's a Levi. He needs to bring Maser even on everything.
Yeah, you have to give. So you have to give Maaser. Maybe take
So
it
is
to
the
another.
point-
So the question is, to
the
whom
question-
he's going to pay the master to?
is the question really like it's before he gives the part to the I
To the
don't know,
Kohen.
sorry. To the Kohen. Is it before he gives the part? But once he gives the part to the Kohen, then
Then it's fully
a
his.
null point.
Right.
But it doesn't
Yes.
matter because
But
because then he could also get because that's also then he can get a little bit criminal. So it's not clean.
Well, wait. Doesn't he, let's say he puts in he owed the 2%, and he put it all in the ground.
No, he removed the 2%.
No. He said he puts it all in. He put it all in, and his share
yeah, I get it.
grows from 9.8.
No, because you don't know that
With the
2%
2%?
could have been 95% of the growth, and the other part could have been 10% of the growth. Just the way things grow. Yeah, 100%. Because then it's crooked. Then it's not right. I
No,
can't
it just-
take what I owe you, and so let's say I owe you $10 of Maser, but I take your $10. I don't give you your 2, so I get the 10. I don't give you your 2 yet, but I take the 10 in total, so I'll be left with 8. Let's say I take the 10 in total, I invest it.
Right. And
Into
now
like
you're
a stock
100.
portfolio.
Now you're 100.
And all of a sudden it grows, but I don't know what part of the stock portfolio.
But that's
grew
what I was-
exactly.
that's what-
That 2% could have grown 10,000.
But that's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna ask. Is now that it's grown to
I
100.
think we have to have our own share because these guys are
No,
gonna.
no.
Now that it's grown to 100,
Once it's
I have to
9:30,
take
then
the
we're gonna
2%, give it, then give the 10% on the whole thing, and still owe 2%. That 2% grow to 20 because the whole thing went from 10 to 100. So the 2 went from 2 to 20. So I have to take the 20 from the old stuff and give it.
As much as I agree with you, I'm not sure if the halacha is that.
Yeah, I think the problem is there. You can get a little. You can start getting a little bit crooked with the numbers, and then you're in trouble.
The Kohen will like it though.
Yes,
I,
eh?
I don't want to get into that. That's not for this year. You can't say that with all these books around. You have to like. think twice.
So what did Mr. Bigzer say? I couldn't hear. I want to laugh.
Yeah, that's right. He says the Kohen would like it if he's getting all these extra maasers.
Gotcha.
But remember, you're a Levi, so yeah.
Yeah, but he's still getting more.
I'll take all
Just
I
pay
can
it on
Oh,
time.
they-
Just pay it on time.
But like I mentioned last year, the only thing that we have is we get to choose which Levi we give it to. So you have a lot of competition these days. So
Especially on that table there, yes. Sure.
yeah.
Everybody trying to be the nicest.
Whatever, you guys get called up to the tour every week. We take from you. Don't worry, you're good.
Yeah, we take it.
I have a special place now for just levies and Cohens. Just pop them out, throw money in their envelopes.
Quick. Okay,
So,
this is a back and forth tough one today, boys. But Bezrat Hashem. So like this. What happens here is that you fully have to give maaser on this. Why is that so? And the Gemara now answers, and this is something that Nisim touched upon earlier. We're 5 lines up from the bottom. Shani gabe maaser, the Amar Kra, maaser is different. Pasuk says, aser ta'aser. The Gomer, the full pasuk, if you have it on the side, is aser ta'aser, it's kol tevuat zarecha. Shana. Give 10% from all that grows from your land year over year. So, ve'etera zari inchi, isura lo zari inchi. In general, people plant things that are allowed. They don't plant things that aren't allowed. When I'm doing my planting, what am I planting? I'm planting things that are allowed. Meaning, I already gave maaser on this stuff. This is my allowed stuff. This is my 88 that's left over, my 88.2 that's allowed for me. I plant that. I have to give maaser on everything that grows afterwards. This is like what you said before. Why? Meaning it doesn't make sense with numbers and cents. Dollars and cents doesn't make sense. That's why dollars and cents, you are allowed to minus that amount. But maaser is different because there's a pasuk. Pasuk aser ta'aser. It's kol tevot zaracha hayotze hasadeh. Shana shana. What comes out of the field? What comes out of the field? Anything that grows out of the field, 10% off. Well, you got to give you the 10%.
So who does the
And-
levy give the 10% to?
I think another levy.
No, so you get to
But
choose
that makes
which
sense
levy.
because
so.
that makes sense because
And the other levy can choose to give it back.
to tame this,
Very good.
Hashem
Those
has to
these
be
are,
involved.
you know, they're a gang.
You
Crooks.
need water, you
Each
need
other.
sun, you need soil,
You
you
need some
need
in
the
our-
secret
Yeah,
sauce
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes it
We'll
happen.
see.
On the side.
So in that case, of course you do because this is not your product. It's not a calculated. It's not calculated. You know?
Right, you could throw in 100 seeds
Well, it could also be-
and make 1,000. You could throw in 100 seeds and make 10,000.
Right, or like you can take when you take the 10%. Sorry, when you take the 2% that you're supposed to give somebody and plant it, you don't know that his 2% didn't grow 5,000%,
Right.
and your
98.
98% only grew 3%, and so you can't know
Right.
that equivalent because that was his bracha. That's actually from this parsha.
That's Rasha,
That's what
Yaakov.
Yaakov said. Yaakov said
Yitzchak
that,
planted and he got Mea She'arim, 100 times what he planted.
yeah, he told Lavan. Was it this week or last week? 2 weeks ago, he said he told Lavan. You know that it was because of me.
Right.
We said it's going to be speckled cows. It was only speckled cows grew that year. You wanted then the next year you wanted this cow, and only the other ones grew. Whatever I said was going to grow grew.
It happened.
So it happens in me. It's all me. Sorry, it's Hashem, but through me, Jacob, Yaakov.
It's the week coming up. It wasn't last week.
No, was it the week coming? If it was like week
Yeah,
coming up,
because
I'd be
we
very
have
proud of
it coming
myself.
up.
Let's read the run
Because I don't
over
remember
here.
studying that.
Let's read the run over
No,
here,
we surely
which
tested
is starts with the
What?
word
it.
shani,
We surely tested 2 weeks ago.
which is the
That's-
fourth
Oh,
line
maybe
of the
it was
widest
in-
lines.
In Costa Rica.
Okay.
Fourth line of the widest lines of the run. Shani gabe maaser tamar kra. It's different by maaser. There's a pasuk. This is aser taser kol tevot zarecha. The hetera zariinchi. People plant things that are allowed to them already. The isura lo zariinchi. People don't plant things that are asur to them. They plant after tax dollars. They don't plant before tax dollars. They don't plant before they give to the Kohen or Levi. Klomar. That runs explaining. Rachmana Hashem Amar says, the af zaracha shezarata shehu metukan kvar. The things that you planted, that's already fixed. It's already give a maaser on this. Tachzor v'taaser. Take off maaser on it. Why? Debati leikar legabe gidulin. Bring this back to where we all started. This is now batel to the new growth. This is a new growth over here that overrides the old what you started with. Umiyachtiv zaracha. That it says in the pasuk zaracha, mashma davka dehetera. It's mashma. I learned from here things that are allowed. Zaracha, your seeds, not seeds that really belong to Kohen, really belong to Levi. Your seeds. Deachi or chayudinchi. That's the normal way of a person. Ubehetera ka'amar. That he uses his things that are allowed. The gidulin mevatlin ikar, because the growth overrides the ikar. Aval isura lav zaracha mikri. But things that are asur to you, things that really belong to a Kohen, really belong to a Levi, it's asur to me. It's not called my seed. The lo zari le'inchi, and people don't plant that. Hilkach mizaracha mashma de be'isura lo ati gidulin mevatlin ikar. When it comes to things that are asur, the growth does not override, because it's only the growth is going to be asur. It doesn't override the ikar, because the ikar over here is something that it's not yours. It belongs to the Kohen, it belongs to the Levi. Okay, so therefore we understand that there's a difference when it comes to maaser, that the gidulin fully override, and that the Rabban Shimon said earlier, that you could have a difference between only what grew, that's the 7th year, but what's from the 6th year is the 6th year, that can be in Shemitah, but not in Maaser. Okay, I think we put this kind of to rest. Should we try to go to the end?
Keep going.
Keep on going? Let's go to the end of the Perek. Let's see if we can do it in a few minutes.
We had a bet about
Let's
this.
go. If we're gonna, Gufa, 3 lines off the bottom. Amar Rav Chanina Tirta'a. Amar Rav Yanai. Says Rav Chanina
Who got
Tirta'a.
what? We want
In
to
the
know if we
name
should
of Rav
stretch it or
Yanai.
not.
In the name of Rav Yanai. Batzal shel truma. Shenatu v'rabu gidulav alikaro mutar. A batzal of truma, an onion of truma that you planted, and it grew more over its original truma, it's allowed. It undoes the truma. Lememra, to teach us the gidule heter malinata isur, that things that now grew beheter. This is not 60 or 70 years. It's a regular year. This thing was teruma. I planted in the ground this onion. It grew more, grew more, grew more. It grew more than the teruma factor. It's allowed. You see that the gidulin override what is asur. Says the Gemara, ve'atnan. Gidule teruma, teruma. But hold on a second, there's a contradiction to the statement. Rav Yanai made a statement right now that what grows over the truma wins, and it grows over. But there's a Mishnah that says gidule truma, truma, anything that grows from truma is truma. Contradiction, answers the Gemara. Begidule gidulin kamina. No. What we're talking about is like second step. Gidule gidulin. Meaning gidule truma is teruma. Gidule gidulin, what grew, this was truma. It grew this, that's truma. If I take from this and I plant that into something else, and that grows something else, that's going to be allowed. That's what he says, that's the difference. Says the Gemara, Hanamitene, hold on, that's also a Mishnah. Gidule gidulin, chulin, hakamash malan, afilu bedavar she'en zaro kaleh. 1 second. Hanamitanina, gidule gidulin chulin. The gidule gidulin kamrinan. The gidule gidulin, if it like second step, that's also teruma. Oh yeah, that's also gidule gidulin kamrinan is allowed. The Gemara says, hold on. Hanami tanina gidule gidulin chulin. We learned that in another Mishnah. You're trying to tell me that that's your statement? We have a Mishnah. We don't need your statement if that's a Mishnah. Gidule gidulin chulin. Gidule gidulin is allowed. You just said that as well. That's the same thing as a Mishnah. Answer the Gemara. Hakamash Shalan, Rav Yanai, who made the original statement, right? Rav Yanai, he's teaching us the following: Afilu bedavar she'en zar'o kaleh. Even something that its seed doesn't rot, like an onion. Even something like that, where I actually have the original onion here, the original truma is still here, just grew more around it. That original, even that is going to be allowed. That's his chidush. Meaning, the Mishnah says, things that grow from truma, even grow from, if it grows 2 steps, it's allowed. If it grows 1 step, it's still truma. So what did Rabbi Yana come to teach us? You know what Rabbi Yana came to teach us? That it grew 2 steps, it's allowed. Even if I have my original bulb here, it's allowed. Hold on, we have a question from a Mishnah. Hatevel gidulav mutarim bedavar shezaro kaleh. Tevel, we said, is unmaaser or untruma produce. What grows from it, bedavar shezaro kaleh, hatevel gidulav mutarim is allowed. Bedavar shezaro kaleh, that's in a case where the seed gets totally decomposed. Bedavar she'en zaro kaleh, but something like an onion that it still grows, gidule gidulin asurin. There's a question I just said. Gidule gidulin is asur. You said gidule gidulin is mutar. Answers the Gemara, ribuya de rabu gidulin al ikaro mutar kamashmalan. He's coming to teach us this. What if this thing? Let's see the ending over there. Ribu. I think it's another step. Ribuya de rabu gidulin al ikaro mutar kamashmalan. He's coming to teach us that I think it's many steps. You say, Rav Yanai, when the growth exceeds the roots, they are permitted. Ribuya de rabu gidulin. It seems like it's not just like a 50%, but it's much more. Even if the growth of the growth are forbidden, certainly we should say that at the same time that teruma grows as ruling regarding the onions. Unite permits the growth of teruma is only in the case where they exceed the root.
Like fridge, it will go.
All the bulbs. The bulbs. The growth is soon independent size and nullify the root. Yeah, they nullify, they must exceed the forbidden root.
And the more
Where they're not.
over time, the stronger they get.
Yeah, it seems like it's Like it's a real exceeding. That's ribuye de rabu gidulin. So the chidush of Rav Yanai is that it outgrew like much more. That's when it's going to get to its state of mutar. Okay, I know there's a lot of back and forth here, a lot of onion talk. And I think we got some lessons here.
Stinks.
And Zrat Hashem, the new Perek Sunday. Hadran alach anoder min hayerek, anoder alach anoder min hayerek, anoder alach anoder min hayerek. It's a perfect time. Sunday morning. New Perek. Fresh start.
No. Oh,
You get to come to
no. Finishing.
You get to come to the see you. Okay. Chazak u'baruch. Chazak u'baruch.